Right then, the task this morning is to replace the passenger front bottom ball joint on this van. Here's the problem. A couple of years ago I'd done the driver's side and it was bloody horrible job. Flipping heck. I was sweating and oh my. The problem is the pressed steel bottom arm has got 3 rivets holding the ball joint to the arm. And I can tell you, they are tough cookies to get out. My air chisel would not touch them. I flipping drill, using a punch and a hammer, I had to literally drill through the rivets halfway before I could punch them out. And I was not a happy bunny at the end of that job. So, but I'm gonna keep calm today and hope that this goes all nice and smoothly. I guess we'll find out. Right. You see, if I put a lever bar in between that ball joint and the hub, if I get it in there, I don't know how well you can see that, but if I rock the wheel, you'll notice it a lot more. You see how badly that ball joint's worn out? I can actually feel that knocking when I'm driving now. By the way, while I've taken the wheels off, I will point out I've just fitted 2 brand spanking new tyres. Woo! You know, all the niggling little things are all flooding back to me now. Like the nut and bolt that holds the bottom ball joint in, you can't get out unless you remove the brake caliper first. So there's 2 21mm bolts, and I'll take the caliper and carrier off as one great big assembly and just lift that at the top of the disc for the time being. Now the nut and bolt holding the ball joint to the hub is another 21mm nut and a 16mm bolt head. I'm just going to see if this moves. It's tight. Yep. And for those of you that have ever done one of these ball joints, you'll probably know the bolt going through that bottom ball joint to the hub is flipping tight. So I'm going to air chisel it out. I am telling you, that was in flipping tight. I literally, using the air chisel, had to punch that bolt out. It is absolutely covered in rust. So I'm going to clean this up on the wire wheel and put some grease in it before I put it back in. There. Hopefully that will stop it seizing up again, because with the chocolate ball joint I'm going to fit, I might be changing it sooner than I think. So all we have now are 2 nuts and bolts. They're 19mm headed bolts with 21mm nuts. I'm just going to slog it out now, trying to undo them. Do you know what? It's almost as if, by the way, I put plenty of freeing oil on the threads and clean the threads up. It's almost as if the nut is one of them nuts that are sort of like got a bit at the end to make it tight all the way. It is flipping hard work trying to remove these. You'd think they'd just undo, but no. And you can't get an air gun on them because there's no room. You have to do everything by hand. So I'll carry on. Oh my God. This is trying my patience already. The only bonus is the nuts and bolts have actually come off. So I'll just tap these 2 bolts out. Whoa, well that came out easy enough. Now them bolts are out, I should be able to just prise that arm from the inner joints, and they'll pop out so the arm's like flopping. Obviously the ball joint pin is tight in this. I could put a pin punch in here to spread this open, but I'm just going to see if it's going to come out with a few taps first. It doesn't appear to want to move, so I'm just going to knock this pin punch in here to spread this out a little bit. Now let's see if it comes out any easier. Still tight, we're out. Woohoo! Woohoo! I just want to point something out here. These bolts that go through the bottom arm and onto the subframe, something did actually cross my mind. In the arm where the bushes go through, there's like a metal collar. And I remember cars of old, the bolts would go through there like that, and they would seize onto the metal collar. And the collar would spin with the bolt where they're seized up, and they're just spinning the rubber. And you'd end up having to cut, using a saw to cut through the bolts to try and get the arm off. That obviously didn't happen today, which is good, because otherwise I'd have been here all day trying to sort that out. But anyway, I'm going to clean these bolts up and then, well, yeah, so they're nice and easy to go back on. I don't know how this is going to go, but I've only got a grinding disc. I would have preferred a cutting disc because it's thinner and it would have cut these rivets a lot easier. So, well, let's see what happens. Let's not forget the safety wear. See, I've cut it crosswise like that. So now I'm just going to sort of like chop the 4 points off and then just smooth it across, so we've just got the actual centre of the rivet showing. I don't know if you can make that out, but now I've ground that flush, you've got like the perfect circle and you've got the rivet there in the middle. So now all I've got to do is somehow either drill through this or punch it out. I have tried with the air chisel, actually on the bench with a socket underneath the rivets as well, but nope, it's not having it. So now I'm going to, the arduous task of trying to at least drill them halfway through. So I could be here for some time. The object is to get just the right amount of pressure on the drill while having the right speed. Nearly there. So I'm just going to slog it out now with a hammer and a punch. Ah! Coming! It's coming! Ah! Holy crap! Woohoo! We got a hole! Oh my god! Oh my god! We've got one out! Woo! That's one out. I'll tell you, my arms after drilling and using the punch and using the air chisel are like jelly. I'm like, anyway, I'm going to get these other 2 punched out and then that's the hard work over. Thank God. Yeah, that's definitely got some up and down movement in it. But will it slide out? No, it won't. There we go. I will say though, this is the original ball joint on this van, and this van has done like 202,000 miles now. So it hasn't done bad. Right then, FAI, I guess they're okay. Yeah, let's get it out of the bag. Woo, that looks nice. I wonder how long this will last. See, this is the problem. Because these aftermarket ones aren't that good quality, they're never going to last as long as the original. I may be changing this again in a year's time, if you know what I mean. So I'll explain in a minute. See, here's my logic. This ball joint might not last that long because it's a cheap part. If I was to replace, just buy the complete arm assembly with the ball joint on it, which would probably cost 80, 90 pound, compared to the ball joint, which this ball joint was, with the VAT, was 15 pound. So if I bought a complete new arm, the ball joint that comes with the arm won't be no better quality than this ball joint here. So I'm kind of thinking to myself, if I just take the time now, do all the grunt work and get the rivets out, if this ball joint does fail in like a year or two's time and I have to replace it again, that's if I still got the van, then it's just a simple case of replacing the joint. Anyway, the good news is it comes with new nuts and bolts. There we go. We'll bolt them down nice and tight. That's tight. There. Now all we got to do, isn't that nice and shiny? Not for long though. Okay, I'll bolt this puppy back on the van. So I'll slide that into the frame first. Oh, that's gone in nice and easy. Now I can just pop the bolts in. There we go. Hopefully that ball joint will just go in as it's supposed to. And also the fact that this is pretty goddamn obvious, when the new joint goes back into the hub, the bolt will go through that slot there so it can't come out. And you're going to give it a bit of a tap and bring that right through. Woo-wee! That's all the hard work over with now. All I've got to do is bolt it all back together. It went a lot smoother than I thought. It's just flipping hard work drilling them rivets out. Holy shit. Not my favourite pastime. Anyway, I'm going to have my tea and then I'll get back on it and get it finished. Cheers. All good? No play now? Yeah. Friggin' hell, I'm glad that's done. If any of you out there have had the serious misfortune to have to replace a bottom ball joint on a Vito van, my best advice to you is get someone else to bloody well do it.
Alan!
What do you want?
The car's stuck. The ramp won't come down.
You what?
The ramp won't come down.
You what?
The ramp won't come down.
You what?
The ramp won't come down!
You what?
Oh, forget it.
Oh, you frigging parrot. Flipping heard you the first time. Think. Got it. I've got a brilliant idea. Right, luckily this ramp has still got the model and serial number on it. So I'll grab a picture of that. There we go. Because this ramp and this emission machine was all bought as like one whole package, it comes with the service number on it. 0844 665 bingo.
Sorry, the person you're calling is not available. Please try later.
Maybe they're just in a COVID-safe bubble. and can't come to the phone right now. Right. You know, luckily for me, I've experienced this problem before. This control panel, like I say, we've had this before. When this ramp was about a year old, it done the same thing. It wouldn't come down. And I'm pretty sure I know what the problem is. This top panel's got to come off. And then there's another box here. These screws that pop out. This cover comes off. This covers all the electrics. There we go. See this? See this little black box here? Look how it's been splined into the wiring. It doesn't even look like it should be part of this circuit. I'm telling you, it's like a flipping insurgency. Bit like Joe Biden. And just so we know what we're dealing with here, I've got a nice picture on the internet of it. So just to get like a brief description of this. On delay, 2-wire timer relay with fixed delay time. Compact, watertight, moulded modular design. Insensitive to vibrations, bounce free and wear free thanks to elimination of mechanical components, whatever. When the operating voltage is applied, the circuit in series with the consumer is activated after the delay time TV has elapsed. Blah 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 blah. Do not pay attention to the polarity of the voltage. So you can wire it in any way round. There's only 2 bloody wires on it anyway. So anyway, I have phoned up the only company I can find in this country, the UK, that actually sells these relays, and they say to me, oh sorry, we haven't got none of them, we can't even get them, they're back order. My question is, if it's that bloody good, why does it keep breaking? I've got an idea. I know exactly how I'm going to deal with this situation. Here's the thing, there's a car stuck on the ramp. I can't sit here indefinitely trying to find someone to come and fix it, because actually the problem is nobody wants to deal with that particular ramp, so I'm just going to have to sort it out myself. You know the old saying, if you want something doing, do it your bloody self. So I'm going to take these 2 wires where they've been joined in like that, and I'm going to cut them. There. That's removed our flipping goddamn relay. And now, all I'm going to do, I'm going to join these 2 wires together without the relay, because all that relay is, well actually, as you probably already know, it's like a delay relay. So, taking that out of the equation, the ramp should work just connecting these together. The moment I push the down button on that control panel, these solenoids will push these pistons out, which will release this ratchet locking mechanism, and that will come up really fast, and then the ramp will come straight down. But that relay is supposed to have like a 2 second delay on it, so it gives it plenty of time for these to come out, and then it will come down in a few seconds time. So if I've had a car sat on this ramp for a while, and the ramp kind of sinks down a little bit and puts pressure on that ratchet mechanism, if I press that button, it might not release them, if you know what I mean, because there might be pressure on them, on the ratchets. So I think it's probably best to actually press the ramp and make it go up a little bit first, before you come down. That makes more sense. Anyway, let's get on. Shall we see? I said you have to stop the ramp when it gets that far off the ground, let go of the button, then press it again, and it will bleep until it comes down to the floor. The bleep is so you don't put your feet underneath the ramp. Forget it, we're living in clown world anyway. I do have to say, that looks like one complicated little relay. Well, all I can say, it's a piece of crap because it keeps going wrong. By the way, I've ordered one up. Not that they can tell me when it's going to arrive. It could be next week, it could be next year for all I bloody know. The fact is, the ramp's working, that's all that matters, we're out of trouble. Safety first! There you go! That's a fitting end to this stupid relay. Bye bye! Well, that's one way of putting it out of his misery.
There's a snake in my boot.
Welcome to the wonderful world of self-drive car rentals! I thought just to finish this video, this Mondeo, we've put a second-hand engine in it. It's running as sweet as a nut now. But just before I go, I'll show you the damage done to this engine. We've got a lovely little hole through the block there, just behind the inlet manifold. There's a piece of engine casing. And another great big hole on the other side of the engine behind the exhaust. Woo! Apparently, the story goes, the car was driven through floodwater and some water did get in the engine. The air filter was soaked and all stuff like that. But it was all cleaned up and the car drove away perfectly fine. And a week later, the guy rings up and goes, my engine's clattering. And a conrod's gone through the side of the bloody engine block. So I can only assume, I might be wrong, I'm just assuming here that maybe some water did get in the engine, didn't bend the conrod, but weakened some of the bearings in the engine on the conrods and the crankshaft and that. So anyway, we got a cheap engine. It only took like half an hour to fit the new engine. You believe that, you believe anything. No, it took two of us a complete bloody day to fit that engine. And it was a dirty, horrible job. We're flipping coolant, power steering oil, gearbox oil, engine oil, dripping everywhere. The flipping floor was... I'm going. Till the next time. See ya! Bye-bye! Right, that's it. Till the next time. See ya!